It's Tomb Raider Tuesday, lovelies! Time to find out what's in the egg. What a surprise, surprise! It's an Atlantean abomination. I would never have guessed that. I thought it was gonna be Abraham Lincoln himself looking to shake my hand and thank me for helping him to love again. I thought it'd be Tupac. Ah shit, yeah, you freed me, Lara! How can I ever thank you?
Well, you could let me do backing vocals on your new album.
Hell yeah, homegirl! Anything for you! And then the last level of the game is just an impossible rhythm section where you're trying to come in at the right time in the right key, but you keep screwing it up. God damn it, woman! You fucking up my comeback!
I'm so sorry.
Apologize by getting it right, bitch! I did it again. Talk nonsense about dead rappers over the important part of the game. Oh dear. Well, let's have a recap while I'm picking up all this Uzi ammo that the game just really shovels onto you at this stage. Has to be said. You're in no risk of ever running out of Uzi bullets here in the Great Pyramid. The creature we just spectacularly laid to rest goes by an exciting range of names, including the Torso Boss, the Legless Mutant, and the Abomination. And as you saw quite plainly there, it'll try to kill you by slowly dragging itself towards you with its arms and smashing you into paste with its fists. It has a surprisingly tiny head as well, has to be said, and a confusing mop of blonde hair, like a mad scientist got hold of Dolph Lundgren. You might be wondering why I whipped out the old pump-action painmaker to deal with him, and the answer is simply that it kills him quicker at the close range we fight him in. He's incredibly sluggish, so unlike his much swifter, smaller brothers, I'm in no danger of him closing me down while I use it, as opposed to the other guns that deal consistent damage whether your target is in your face or way off in the distance. Truthfully, the biggest danger you'll face while taking on Legless is your own complacency, as it's quite easy to lose track of your positioning and launch into a beautiful back or side flip that will send you plummeting 200 feet down into the lava. But for those of you that find it difficult to keep your bearings about you, there are alternative ways to end his miserable life. A fairly popular one is to hang off the edge of the ledge, wait until Legless backs up to the door, pull up, shoot him, and then drop back off again when he approaches. Of course, such a cheap strategy is not without its dangers, he says as the metal chomper gates claim a sickening chunk of his arse there. Not without its dangers, as sometimes Legless will get sick of your shit, reach down under the platform, and grab you anyway. At which point it will kill you by either ragdolling you against the ground or bumping you off the edge. Even if it works, you'll probably wind up losing a bunch of health, as every time it gets to where you're hanging it will hurt you by dragging its fat ass onto your fragile fingers, but hey, if you want to play like a fucking pussy, them's the breaks, ain't they? Of course, you can always go in the opposite direction, defeat it like a complete bloody lunatic, because Legless doesn't appear to have any solid texture around his right shoulder, so you can charge at him, jump through the non-existent portion of his body, roll and blast him in the back while he struggles to turn around. As hilarious and gonad-swellingly alpha as this strategy is, again, Legless will sometimes get fed up with your showboating and grab you out of the air and kill you anyway, but my goodness, what glorious death. But with all risks and game plans considered, I usually just decide to send him off to the genetic waste bin like a normal human being would. I mean, come on. Look at the poor bastard. Have mercy. Send him off with some dignity at least. This secret's a little bit obtuse if you don't bother checking behind you. You gotta hop to the end here, which will extend a bridge on the other side of the room. They're hiding them good now. They ain't playing no more. But back to Legless for a minute, because this needs to be said. Every time I play this game, every time I get to that boss fight, I look at him and I think to myself, what good was he ever meant to do? I mean, first of all, how was Natla planning on getting him off that platform? He couldn't have fit through the door we went through, so his only other exit from his birthing pod is straight over the edge, 200 feet down into the fucking lava. How was he ever meant to leave? Well, you're just gonna get like 100 flying Atlanteans to hoist him off the platform and carry him through the roof? Could you not have genetically engineered him some legs at least? Or just one leg? Or given him like a loading trolley to roll around on? Come on. If Natla can build a 14-year-old mercenary his own skate park in an underground mine, she can give the crowning glory of her Atlantean army a lorry frame to scoot around on, can't she? And while we're on that, sure, the amount of ammo you need to kill the damn thing. How is Legless in any way superior to a standard Atlantean soldier? It can't fly, it can't shoot darts or throw fireballs. It moves like a dog doing that disgusting shit where it drags its worm-infested ass across the rug. It'd be useless in a battle with even the most lightly armed backwater town, unless you used it like a bomb and threw it out of a plane on somebody's house. It's just... nah, love, for a woman who is obviously so obsessed with militant Darwinism that her scheme is to accelerate the planet's natural evolution by introducing a new superior species into it, she sure has painted herself into a corner with that developmental dead end, hasn't she? And really, she never needed the ski on at all. Crawlers, flyers and centaurs, they're perfectly lethal by themselves. I'm playing an expert markswoman and gymnast that combines those two pastimes into one devastating attack with superhuman strength and endurance to boot. And even I can barely take on two of those fucking things at the same time. What chance has anybody else got? There's your army right there. You bloody nonsense. Well, as you can see there, we just popped a cap in the Scion's arse, which has prompted Atlantis to begin shuddering itself to pieces like a chihuahua in an avalanche, so we better make our way out of here fairly sharpish. All the lava that used to be in the pit below us is drained on the far side here, which will give us a convenient exit out into the next area and into what this stage is really about, forcing you to run through a series of increasingly elaborate traps like you've woken up in the basement of the Jigsaw Killer. I've been incredibly careless here. I let myself get quite badly hurt very early on in the stage, which, I'm not gonna lie, was part because I was jabbering away to you, part because I was overconfident, but we'll make it. We always do. Even with a dart in our back. And in our leg. Fuck. This is bad. You know, you can get rid of those darts by saving and reloading your game here. They just disappear. Alright gang, I'm not gonna lie. Things are looking pretty grim at the moment. We're not even halfway through the level and we're kind of clinging to the frame of death's door by our fingertips here. We've still got all the worst traps to get through and a final boss to fight, and we can maybe take one more tiny hit from a lava ember before we kick the bucket. In fact, we might have to in just a moment. There's a pit through here. Fuck, we did. Alright. So now we can take absolutely no more damage whatsoever. So that's what we're gonna do. Come on, Crusaders, we can do it. You can do anything you want to, goddammit. You're in my army. That gives you the leverage to turn around to anybody telling you differently, flip them the bird, spit in their face, and run them down with your horse. The Holy Crusade's got nothing to do with beating video games, lovelies. Nothing at all. It's about knowing what you want to do in your life, strapping on your battle armor, and marching towards it with your brothers and sisters by your side. Your victories are our victories, and our victory is yours. Your enemies are our fucking enemies, and at the end of each day we will scrape their miserable remains from our boots together. Eyes on the horizon, Crusader. Behold the sun, bleeding glorious into the sky, sinking now behind the great mountain. It does not go to die, alone and defeated, but only to sleep, to rise again, to bring with it the immortal morning. We march to greet it now, through the cold black of the night, and though our path be fraught with all the perils of hell, they will burn in flame more searing than the odious pit from whence they rose. Onwards, my champions, to blood and glory! Man, hope I don't accidentally flip into a boulder now, or that rousing speech will have meant fuck all, won't it? I thought it was pretty rousing anyway. But, you know, don't take life advice from me. It's like, you can do all that stuff I just said, or you can just sit here and watch me play video games. Either works for me. Alright, here comes the pain. This is essentially now just one long gauntlet of traps stacked one on top of the other, which on the one hand is good because it means that there's no unpredictable combat to kill us off besides the final boss, but on the other hand, it's still one long gauntlet of traps stacked one on top of the fucking other, so there's only one difficult one coming up that I'm slightly concerned about. Ooh, shit. 2 difficult traps. But that one's done now, through blind luck more than anything else, I have to admit. Oh no, the room's filling with deadly lava! Ah! Just stop for this medipack right here, there we are. Ah! It's cool, we're okay. This is special Atlantean lava. Has the consistency of horse shit. Slows down after a while. Did any of you ever see the TV commercial for Tomb Raider when it first came out? My god, it was weird. Seriously, right up there with the strangest shit you have ever seen. It was narrated by somebody that sounds so much like Vin Diesel that I find it impossible to accept a universe where it wasn't him. And, I mean, you'd have to watch it for yourself to get the full effect. But it starts off in a desert with a voiceover going, "What makes you sweat?" That's first 4 seconds. And I promise you, those are the only 4 seconds of what you're about to see that make any sense. Then it goes, "Is it passion?" And there's 2 people fucking, which, I promise you, is nowhere to be found in this game. Unless it's like a special reward for completing the game only using backflips. Let's call it the Mission Impossible 2 Tom Cruise achievement. Then it says, "Or is it just heat?" And then there's a shot of some dead shit in the desert, but my favourite one is the one right after that goes, "How about not knowing whether your very next breath will be your last?" And there's some bugged out smackhead hammering on the locked hatch door to like a submarine or something. You don't even stay in his own segment. You keep getting little cuts of him squidding like a pig at the camera right the way through this batshittery. And then, to tie it all together, the narrator asks you, "How about all 3? And there you get the big smash cut of all the epic Tomb Raider scenes, while the most blatant rip-off of the Alice in Chains track My Bones I've ever heard plays over the top. Oh, this swan dive is so satisfying. There it is, perfect dive into the giant Atlantis vagina, my goodness, yes. I'll change in just a moment. Also, the narrator from that advert says Tomb Raider in the weirdest, like, you'd expect it to be like, Tomb Raider. But he literally says it like, Tomb Raider. Like it's his pet name for his cock. Like you're sitting next to him on the bus and he says it. Tomb Raider. And you look at him and slowly look down and it's on your leg. And then he goes, from Eidos Interactive. Which is meant to be Eidos Interactive, but the dude just cannot fucking speak. I thought he was threatening me in Spanish when I was younger. So here we are, the final boss, the flying Natlantean. Christ knows how she's managed to hide that impressive wingspan and the same tight shirt as her 38 EE boobs. Why she didn't see fit to use them when she fell in the lava pit to flap up and give her old pal the Abomination a hand with the trouble he was clearly having with Lara. But then, we are clearly dealing with a mad woman, aren't we? Down you come, bitch. Don't get too comfortable though, my fellow archaeology enthusiasts, because she'll get right the fuck back up in mere moments. We're going to use her recovery time to make a break for cover here, because when she wakes up, she comes out the gate firing, and one stray shot is going to be enough to send us to our graves. I don't want to just lurk behind a pillar. I need a shot on her. That'll do.
You can't bump off me and my brood so easy, Lara.
There we go. Just enough to cut her off from charging over to the right and boxing Sin at the back here. Oh, she's loose. The bitch is loose. Come on. Drop. Drop, whore! Fuck you. Enjoy your complimentary sack of dicks when you get to hell, you half-bat hooker. Oh man, thought we were in trouble there. Alright, so all that's left to do now is to climb the pillars around the room to sweet, sweet victory, which, in terms of gameplay flow, has always struck me as a little bit odd. Just because it's so easy and perfunctory when you compare it to the double boulder traps and death-defying leaps to wobbly floors flanked by swinging pendulum blades that we had to endure getting here. I guess it's realistic in a way, because you hardly ever see the big escape from the supervillain lair after they've been defeated in gaming, do you? They normally deal with that shit in a cutscene, or they do you the service of fighting you right at the exit door like a lunatic cloakroom attendant. She's a real motherfucker though, Natla. First time you play this, you have no reason to suspect that she's coming back to life, so you just sort of get on with your day. And before you know it, she's rinsing the shit out of you as you're trying to hop across the pillars right here. I do like her as a villain, even if you have to fill some of the gaps in yourself with her motives. I read once that to write a good antagonist, you have to do it so that they themselves don't think of what they're doing as anything but altruistic. I'm not sure that's necessarily true, because I see Natla a lot like I see the Joker from Batman. Well, the Christopher Nolan incarnation of the Joker anyway. It's easy to look at the giant torso boss we fought at the start of this stage and mock its completely impractical design, as we rightfully did, but consider the possibility that it was never meant to serve any real cause or purpose. Maybe Natla just made it because it was fun, because she could, because she was bored. Because make no mistake, that's what Qualopec and Tiokan had her frozen for. It's worth noting that never once does Natla ever state that she wants to conquer the planet or anything like that. She's quite happy sitting in her pyramid, making useless monsters that don't do anything. All the other Atlantean beasties you fight throughout the game, they already existed. Natla didn't make those. That's why they're in Egypt. That's why there's 2 centaurs guarding Tiokan's tomb. In fact, you can see them in the FMV where Natla gets turned into a giant ice lolly, dutifully guarding the execution platform, so they were definitely allowed to exist as a species during the old Atlantean reign. And that really leaves you with a theory that Natla woke up in modern day America and started an incredibly successful company that made her insanely rich, just so that she could get back to playing Dr. Frankenstein uninterrupted. I love her. What harm is she gonna do, honestly? We've already seen and easily slaughtered her handiwork. Nothing dangerous is gonna come of it. We're free! Just one long trip down the Atlantean super fun happy slide to go, and we're all done. There used to be a bug in the game where it would never register you picking up the 3rd secret, but I think they fixed that now. Yeah, they have! That is our 100% run of Tomb Raider officially brought to a close, with a grand total of 293 dead, 356 items raided, and 45 secret areas successfully uncovered in a grand run time of 5 hours, 56 minutes, and 50 seconds. Longer by about 3/4 of an hour than my usual run time, but that's what you get when you're talking over the game while you're playing it, I guess. There we go, big explosion. Lara won Natla's boat in their fight, so that's probably the one thing she hasn't outright stolen in this game. Oh man, what a journey. But it's one that we've barely even begun. In the next episode of Tomb Raider Tuesday, we're going to begin our run of the 4 grueling bonus stages that came packaged in the exclusive PC edition of the game, Tomb Raider Gold, known collectively as Unfinished Business. Join me next week for the first campaign, Shadow of the Cat, and its first stage, Return to Egypt.